All right, everybody, this is Danny with Elite Mobile Auto Electric here, working on a 2012 Chevy Cruz. Issue with this one is that the customer brought it in because it has a check engine light. First thing that I do when diagnosing a vehicle is check for codes. Now, we don't want to delete the codes, we want to leave them because there's important freeze frame data or important information like that we can use. So our first code is a p0171 fuel trim system lean and a p0496 evap system purge during flow during non-purge. So when I turn on the car, and since we have a lean code, we want to make sure what our fuel trims are for the short-term and long-term fuel trims. Now, one hint that I would like to do is give you a pointer that if you do have an evap flow during non-purge, meaning that you're gonna have this sensor right here, this evap solenoid purge valve, and it's connected directly to the intake manifold. Now, if you have a leak somewhere, say for example, we would have a leak here and it's purging, it's going to be siphoning, sucking air from here, and this is just going to remain on, and then obviously you're going to have like an intake air leak going into the engine that it's not being metered by the mass airflow sensor, and the mass airflow sensor is going to want to recompensate that with fuel, and obviously the fuel trims are going to be off. So here we want to check our fuel trim data, and then we want to look for short term and then long term. We can see here right now long term fuel trim is at 18. So we're gonna fire up the car, let it idle for a little bit, and confirm this issue. So right now, short term is going positive, our long term is going up to 19. Remember that anything below and above -10, +10, it's going to trigger your check engine light. So we're already going to 20 on our long term. This one's not doing negative, and I can hear already my evap solenoid working, you know, when obviously the car's hot, so it's purging right now, and that's not helping. So one thing that I want to do is I want you guys to check on the keep an eye on the long-term fuel trims, and then I will do something. Let me see here, make sure I got it. All right, so let me pull the camera up. All right, so what we want to do is disconnect our evap solenoid, and I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it's turning on now. There's a lot of common issues with this solenoid, that when it's not supposed to be purging, it purges. It keeps on, you know, sucking in vacuum. So we can drastically see now that we are at -9, -15. So our fuel trims are starting to come down when there shouldn't. As they should. We're at -9, 10. You know, and we want to be positive -10. So I'll keep it there for a bit. And what we want is our fuel trims to be, so right there, -10, -11 with a 9. So obviously that's going to be +2. Our short-term fuel trims are always going to be going up and down from lean to rich, and then our long-term is what we want to keep our eye on. It's supposed to be -10 or +10, between there, fluctuate, but not stay fixed, you know, -20 or +20, or because that will trigger on a check engine light. So as you can tell, it's +2 on our long-term fuel trim. Our negative is -3, as it should. Now our long term is at 0, and it's okay, you know, if it goes to -5, +5, it's not going to trigger on a check engine light or whatnot. And usually when my fuel trims are corrected and I see it in my data, that's when I know that my car's fixed. You know, obviously this is the issue. Another test that we are going to do is actually, I wanted to take this and show you guys, but you can hear it purge. So what I'm gonna do, and you can see that it's sucking air, so I'm gonna disconnect this, and then we're gonna test it, and it's still sucking in air. You see? So it's purging when it shouldn't be, and it right here is disconnected, so this valve should be closed. So if it's still sucking air when it shouldn't, what's going to happen is going to trigger off my my fuel trims are going to start going, you know, crazy. So we want to verify by this is faulty, so we got to replace this, and then we're gonna have to do a smoke test to verify that there's no more leaks, you know, towards the gas tank. But knowing that a fuel trim can be triggered off by like a leak in the evap system is definitely something you should always, you know, take in considerate of and attend to that. You know, a lot of people tend to ignore this, but this goes a long way. And you can see that it's just, you know, vacuuming in there. So obviously this needs to get switched out. Fuel trims, long term, it's on 2, which is perfect. It will go down because I've been taking my hand off of here. But there you go. Thought I'd take this time and let you guys know of, you know, simple tests that can trigger certain information with the check engine light. You know, of course, with what is it called, with lean codes, it's definitely something to take a look at when you have issues with your evap system. So stay tuned for more videos, and thank you for watching.